Come and love me till the sunrise. Stay up, we burn in the midnight oil. We burn in the midnight oil. We burn in the midnight oil. I'm swimming in your ocean. I could love you till the morning. Stay up, we burn in the midnight oil. We burn in the midnight oil. We burn in the midnight. I got my eyes on you. Could love you till the morning. Stay up, we burn in the midnight oil. We burn in the midnight oil. We burn in the midnight. I got my eyes on you. We burn in the midnight oil. I'll be the reason you falling in deep with me. It could be so easy if you be my flame. In between us, I can feel the rush. So what you waiting on? Slow kiss me, love. Tangled in your waves to catch on fire, baby. Only thing we're promised is here and now. I'm swimming in your ocean. I could love you till the morning. Stay up, we burn in the midnight oil. We burn in the midnight oil. We burn in the midnight. I got my eyes on you. We burn in the midnight oil.
Just simply is. Is just simply is.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys doing well. Happy fucking Monday and happy new Bitcoin all-time high. I know altcoins aren't moving up, but we're going to talk about that in a minute and the path to success for altcoins to close out this year. As always, you just got to be patient. There's always a lot of panic of like, this bull market fucking sucks and my altcoins aren't going up. But I mean, as you guys know, Bitcoin's the most important thing in the crypto market. So we need to cheer on its success and hope that Bitcoin can go as high as possible. I'm just here for the music, dude. That's not a bad idea. What was the intro song? Well, there's two. The one that I just played was called Simple Hit. Let me put it in. And type it in chat. Soul is Jover. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, friends. Give a couple more minutes for everyone to roll in, and then we'll get started on the outlook. As always, I request that you guys kind of save some of the, or at least, you know, I'm going to skip over the, you know, chart requests until later in the stream. That's how I like to structure the streams. Because if I do altcoin requests right off the top, it just devolves into, hey, Doc, look at my coin kind of a stream. And I don't think that's fun for anyone. That's kind of what I repeat every week, but hey. Do you see a universe where ETH doesn't beat its all-time high of the cycle? So you're basically saying, do I see a universe where Ethereum cannot go up 20% from here? No, I don't see that. I don't see that as a possibility. ETH is 20% away from all-time highs. I think ETH can put in a fart push to all-time highs, especially with ETF flows. Ethereum has very structural flows now that it never had in the past. It's getting billions and billions and billions of inflows. I don't see a universe, no, where it can't move 20% from here. You're basically calling cycle top, right? Right. If you believe that it can't go to all-time high, you're basically saying today is cycle top. And if you believe that today is cycle top, then you shouldn't be in my stream. You should be selling everything and moving on with your life. But since you're still here in the stream, I believe that you're probably still bullish on crypto, which means that you don't believe the top is in. So yeah, I mean, this is the final boss here on ETH, man. This right here is the absolute final boss. 4K capped us in the first half of 2021. 4K capped us in September. This is right when El Salvador legalized Bitcoin, right? This was that puke in September. This is a deviation above. You guys can see how many times ETH tried to hold 4K as support. How many times it tried and tried and tried. This was the one up candle that we got before it all fell to shit. Earlier this year, this is where we topped. This is where the Ethereum ETF odds repriced to being basically guaranteed. And this is where we are right now. So flipping this on ETH, you know, with ETF flows and holding above here, I'm not even worried about this. This is the final boss to me. This is just a formality. Yeah, people will probably sell at all-time highs. There'll probably be some kind of turbulence here. We may not just yeet right through it, but to me, 4K is more important. And then we get to 69,420. Heard all the Solana manlets running over to Sui. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure people are capitulating Solana left and right now. I understand why, too. I'll get to Solana in a minute. I'll talk about the trends and everything like that and why there's, you know, I'll give you the bullish case and I'll give you the bearish case. How do you recognize the beginning of a legit uptrend? Apart from reclaim of daily, weekly, well, it's market structure. it's absorption at the lows, it's rounding off at the lows, right? So if we're looking at the last bear market, you ask yourself, well, let's do Bitcoin, right? We'll do it like this. I look at a couple concepts. One would be like basically news absorption, right? So if we look at Bitcoin's last bear market, this was 3AC. No, excuse me. This was Luna, right? This was Luna collapsing and Luna going to zero and basically taking Bitcoin down with it because Do Kwon bought like $10 billion of Bitcoin and they just had to unwind that entire position. People got pretty excited. You had bearish price action here. It all unwinded. That was Luna collapsing. The next part of this structure was 3AC collapsing and taking all the creditors with it. Celsius, FTX, etc. Right? That took us to, 16K? 17K. I would consider FTX to be the worst of the three, right? I would consider FTX to be the most devastating event, and I basically look at this and go, well, why aren't we going much lower? If the worst event of the three happened here, why aren't we at 10K? Why aren't we at 9K, right? That to me is a little bit of kind of like news absorption. The market is unwilling to sell at these levels despite there being the worst event. Conversely, you could look at that as uptrends. The most bullish events often cap tops. Coin listings on Binance often mark local tops. Catalysts and upgrades for coins often mark local tops, right? Something like, Cardano getting smart contracts topped the coin last cycle. So, that's one way to look at the end of one trend. And if you end one trend, there's only two possible things for the market to do. Either V-shape or enter a long-standing either accumulation or distribution, right? This is basically building value in either of these regions. When you accept above value, right, that could lead to an expansionary environment, right? So how do we know that a new trend is starting here? One, it's ranged for a while. Two, it's leaving value. Number three, you're breaking market structure, right? So oftentimes, right, if we use this example again from the last kind of bear market, when did this all flip around? When we made fresh highs, right? When we basically took the high that led to the FTX bottom and started trading above it. It's a weekly market structure break, right? Big, long-standing weekly bearish market structure, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, higher high on the weekly. That leads you to believing that, market structure can reverse in the opposite direction. Similarly here on Bitcoin, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, low. Bearish market structure. Where did this market structure flip? Right above here. This is the high that led to the August lows. Taking out this high, now we lead to reversal, right? So there are signs, and there's so many things. There's so many more things I can add. Trend structuring, low time frame trend structuring. Like I've said, developing composite values, breaking outside of them, news absorption, right? We could use the concept of news absorption here as well. The most devastating event that we got this summer was the Japan yen carry trade. How come when we get the most devastating event of the summer, it's not able to cause expansion to the downside? Why are we still rounding off and holding this region? That gives you the opportunity to understand and expect that, hey, maybe we could set a higher low in this region. If we've already absorbed the most devastating event, and this event is probably not that devastating, this could potentially be a higher low. This would be our invalidation. That seems like a good RR just to trade a range highs. Okay, we're expanding outside of range highs. Let's fucking go. So the beginning of trends, if you're trying to nail the start of a trend, you're basically trying to nail the end of the prior trend, right? So it's basically recognizing the end of one trend gets you to speculate on the beginning of the other. If you're purely using a system to say we're starting a new trend, then you're going to probably be late to that trend, right? But that's okay too. Then it just comes down to, yeah, are we holding the dailies, right? Are we in bullish market structure, making higher highs and higher lows? We're holding the dailies. Okay, we can probably continue expanding in this fashion. Evening, morning for me, evening for you. How do you like people from TradBuy coping about FARTCOIN while FARTCOIN? I think that's the whole thesis, right? So that's why I initially bought a bag, because it was just so ridiculous, right? And I recognize within myself that this is the most ridiculous coin that I've ever seen in the market. And if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. But I'm going to buy a piece of the pie, and I'm going to throw it in the port, and zero or hero, baby. Like, if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. If it goes up a lot, the only reason it's going to go up a lot is because people are coping and seething. And the ingredients to a very healthy trend are having 50% of the people. This balance is really crucial, right? You want 50% of the people to hate it and 50% of the people to love it. These diehards, they're not going to sell their bags. These haters are eventually going to little by little by little by little capitulate in and give this trend more and more and more momentum and growth, right? So all right, there's no way I'm going to get caught up with chat. I'm going to go cover. Good morning, Nexus. What's the EMA values that you use currently? I wish I had $1 for every time someone asks me. And it's not your fault, because new people ask me every week. But I wish there was like a command that I could have in chat that I could just put exclamation point EMA and it would just answer the questions. Anyone know how I can do that in YouTube chat? Tell me so I can do it. My trend is the 13, 21, 34. Daily is the 4-hour 100, 200. Weekly is the daily 100, 200. Would you buy FARTCOIN now still? The only way you buy FARTCOIN at the top, the only way you top blast anything. So here's how I think about top blasting. If I'm buying the top of any candle, doesn't matter if it's FARTCOIN or anything else, I basically just ask myself, am I willing to lose a bunch of money positioning in a terrible place? And if the answer is yes, and I'm like, I'm willing to do this, I'm willing to put 0.1% of my total portfolio into the top of this candle, and if I'm wrong, and it comes all the way down here into support and it takes like 3 more weeks or whatever to go higher, or it just completely falls over and I'm wrong here, am I willing to eat this drawdown? If the answer is yeah, I'm willing to eat this drawdown, right, because I'm so convicted that it's probably going to go higher and I just have to buy some, and I'll just position it. Basically what I'm trying to say here, are you willing to position in a terrible location and eat potential drawdown and eat, and your invalidation is super far away? Like, you could eat all this drawdown and still be correct in your idea that it can go higher. If all of that is okay with you, then yeah, buy the top of a candle. If that's not okay with you, you need to be patient and action in the locations that are higher EV. I mean, FARTCOIN has been one of the cleanest coins I've ever seen, to be honest, man. Right? I'm pretty sure we talked about this daily demand on stream, right? Tagging daily demand after a big markup, mark down, tag daily demand, mark up again. Big resistance level, right? Big resistance level, breakthrough. This is your breakout, right? If you want to play the breakout, this is the opportunity to do so. If you're trading 4-hour trends, you got the opportunity to trade right here. 4-hour demand, 4-hour trend, trend tag. There's another entry, right? Another opportunity here. 4-hour demand. Excuse me. 4-hour trend, another tag here, right? So it's giving you plenty of opportunities to enter. You haven't taken those opportunities. If you want to buy up here, that's fine. But just understand that it could roll over, it could come down to here, and you'd be underwater, and you're getting that entry, and you could take that. And if you're wrong, you have to ask yourself, am I going to close right here? Or am I just going to continue eating drawdown? Right? So ask yourself these questions and you figure yourself out in your portfolio. But if I'm going to top blast something, I just basically say I'm writing this off mentally to zero. Whatever I've bought, it's going to go to zero, and I'm okay with that. That's the way that I do it. That's the way that I initially bought FARTCOIN at like 10 cents up here somewhere. I was like, all right, if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. That's fine. Jingo, you can always rewind, brother. Do you sell on trend break or bounce? It's a bit discretionary, but yeah, I do sell on trend breaks. I have a video on it. Here, let's real quick. I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, which also is going to provide you guys with a little bit of money if you want it. There's a link in the bio below, the link in the description below. If you sign up to Blofin, they're giving away $1,500, which is basically the equivalent of an iPhone, right? They're just going to give you cash in your account. I know the giveaway says iPhone, but they're not going to be like mailing an iPhone. Like, you don't have to dox yourself and stuff like that. They'll just deposit $1,500 in your account. What I like to do anytime that I get a stream sponsor is ask them to give stuff away to people in the stream that come check out and hang out the streams. And I know like there's 200 something of you guys in here. Out of the 200 something you guys in here, half of you guys are not going to care. The other half may care a little bit and probably are too lazy to enter. And then maybe 10 of you guys enter the giveaway, right? That's 1 in 10 odds. So take advantage, because I guarantee you not that many people are going to have like take 5 minutes out of their day to sign up and basically enter a raffle for $1,500. So for those of you guys that want to take advantage of this and want to enter a raffle for $1,500, the requirements are here shown on your screen. Feel free to pause the stream right now to take a look at these, and the link will be in the description box below. Once again, thank you for sponsoring the stream today, Blofin. Quick little shout out, but take advantage of that, guys. It's basically just free money. I try to give away free money anytime I can. Anytime I have the opportunity to give you guys free money, I always do. We haven't even talked about Bitcoin yet. I'm like 20 minutes in the stream, have not even talked about Bitcoin. So let's do that now. I mean, I've been posting the same thing on CT. Basically, let me talk about this for a second. On CT, there's not much for me to do anymore than just hold the positions that I have, action the big bloody days, you know, be bullish on those bloody days, and then kind of just do nothing, right? Let the market do all the heavy lifting. I've been kind of a broken record about this, right? Like the hard work is done when the market is hard, right? The hard work is done when no one wants to participate and you have to find the bottom and you're trying to allocate early and you're trying to position yourself when things are scary. And when everyone is saying we should de-risk going to the elections and I should sell everything going to elections because it's scary, you have the courage to hold on to those positions, right? You have the courage to buy the dips in these locations. You have the courage to buy the flushes, right? When all of these things are done, there's nothing to do but just to hold on, right? Just to hold on, remain patient, remain bullish, and allow the market to do the heavy lifting. So what Bitcoin's doing is doing a phenomenal job of holding the daily trend. Over the past few weeks, I think price action and trends have been incredibly clean. Every single time that we've lost the 4-hour trend, we've held support of the daily. Every time we lost the 4-hour trend, we've held support of the daily, right? What are we doing right now? We're holding the 4-hour trend into price discovery. This looks like it's been building steam over the past month and getting ready to put in a big expansive leg. And I think we're in the middle of that right now, right? We're at 107K. I wouldn't be surprised if this gapped all the way up to like 120 before it cooled off, right? The most bullish thing happening today is not that Bitcoin is in price discovery, right? Obviously that's bullish. The most bullish thing is that Bitcoin is leading the market and altcoins are underperforming. That's hard for some people to understand because they're all in altcoins. They own no Bitcoin. They don't care. They're seeing red numbers on the screen. The market sucks. This is not a bull market. I know that's people's temperaments, but typically you want Bitcoin to lead the market. That is the healthiest dynamic that we can possibly imagine. We did the exact same thing here, right? I was tweeting out on CT and anywhere I could talking about this is that all you want Bitcoin to do after expanding is go sideways. Once Bitcoin finds balance, altcoins start going nutty. We can kind of probably display this by looking at something like total 3 and overlapping it, right? Look at the lag in time frame of total 3's moves versus Bitcoin. Let's get rid of this. Bitcoin marks up, goes sideways. Look at total 3. Lagging behind and then going crazy, right? Lagging behind and going crazy. When Bitcoin goes sideways, look at what total 3 is doing. Total 3 is underperforming right now. Once again, Bitcoin goes up, goes sideways. Total 3 will probably underperform When Bitcoin starts going sideways, total 3 will probably go crazy again. This is the dynamic that you want to see in markets. You want to see Bitcoin leading and allowing valuations to get higher so that we could bring altcoins along for the ride. You don't want to see altcoins leading the market. Once we start seeing altcoins leading the market, you're in the final stages of a risk-on environment, right? So anyone who's complaining today about why are my altcoins not moving, well, you're in for a treat. This is actually the more bullish dynamic versus altcoins leading. Historically speaking, and basically based on the percentages, right? Nothing is 100%, nothing is guaranteed, but this is the way that I attack the market, and this is the way that I'm excited, or this is what I'm excited about this morning. And then looking at total 3 itself, I already have these doodles on here, holding its own daily trend. If we come out to the weekly, let me get rid of these. Remember how I talked about kind of the final boss on Ethereum being a bunch of weekly resistance levels, right? It's kind of the same thing. Resistance, deviation, resistance, right? Look at where total 3 is trying to flip to support, right? This kind of 900 and something billion dollar level. Total 3 is attempting to hold this region as support, right? So as long as we're holding 900 whatever billion confluent with the daily trend, I think altcoins are in for another expansive leg. But you got to kind of just wait out these moments. Like if it comes back down and tests this region, I think that's opportunity. It's opportunity with a clear-cut invalidation. I'm wrong on my thesis if daily trends are lost, if this level is lost, right? I'm not wrong at support. I'm wrong when it breaks down, rolls over, breaks market structure, loses trends, bearishly tests. Like all these things have to happen. But in the meantime, you make very strong game plans, right? So for altcoins, I don't really have too much of a bearish take at this moment. You know, things flushed pretty hard last week. Money rotated across the market into more desired coins. I think ONDO is doing phenomenal. Link is doing phenomenal. A bunch of people's meme coins are not doing great, but like I've said again and again and again, I think Q1 will cater strongly to meme coins. This is a dynamic that we're used to seeing again and again and again, is that meme coins lead really strongly. They get capped. Everything else kind of takes over. They get capped, and then meme coins go for the final kind of like fuck you legs. I'm trying to scroll up and read some of chat right now. Just a bunch of requests for different alts, which I'll get into in a minute. Like I said, like I don't like doing it at the start of the stream because the whole stream just turns into chart requests then. You know if it's possible to send grass to a ledger? Yeah, man. You send it to your Solana wallet. I don't know if it'll like I mean, you know, you can there's plenty of Solana wallets out there that support ledgers or hard wallets, and you basically have your protected, you know, phantom wallet protected by ledger or whatever. But yeah, you could send grass, which is a Solana coin, and protect it with a ledger 100%. Never refuse free things from doctors. Do nothing. Yeah. Thank you, Lord of the Pine Cones. Have a good one, man. Would it say something about Bitcoin price action if it climbed to 120K very slowly instead of in a big move? I mean, grind ups are pretty bullish, man. I mean, that's just sustained demand, right? That's what a grind up basically is every kind of shallow dip is being bought. There's no need to kind of quote unquote run liquidity to fill bags. People are chasing you know, and placing bids at prior locations. So basically, this is the way, like, you can think about, like, you know, flows or bids or something like that. If this is like a range, right, and this is support, and we break out from here, where is everyone going to place their bids, right? If I'm just going to place a limit order, what I do naturally is I place it right here, right? I place it at resistance, which I'm expecting to be support. If I get filled, right, you know, that would be fantastic. What happens in a very strong market is that bids don't get filled, because as things pull back, there's so much demand as people want to get in, and these books are stacked. Tons and tons and tons of people are bidding here, and the market probably doesn't have enough coins. There's not enough sellers coming in to fill all these bids. That's what a really strong market is, and you kind of front run the levels, right? That's how you get this kind of price action, is everyone's kind of bidding at these prior lows, and you kind of just front run this. So sustained, grindy upwards price action is not a bearish thing, right? Yeeting into a level requires you then to find balance, you know, find buyers and sellers and build a long range. I know my chart is getting really disgusting, but you got to bear with me until you can eventually break out again, right? This grind up price action more or less leads into kind of parabolic expansions, right? You grind up, you grind up, you grind up, eventually build enough stream, you put in one of these candles. Once you put in one of these candles, then you're going to have to find balance. If you can't find balance here and you eventually start breaking down from it, this could lead to the whole thing rolling over. This is what distribution ends up being. I don't know how well I explained that. Hopefully that made sense. Thank you, Jens. Kind of you. Hi, sir. 2 questions. What do you think about GRIFFAIN? I've been asked about this coin a lot. I probably need to start like paying attention to what this is. Okay. So apparently I have doodles here. Someone asked me about this before. Jesus. Okay. Let's get rid of everything and try to see what I was saying. Alright, so if someone asked me about this, I'm pretty sure my only takeaway was continue holding the 4-hour trend, try to get back into demand and play trend continuation. This is starting to look a little bit heavier. It looks like someone's trying to get out of their positions and take some profits. This is your high, right? Wick high. That ends up becoming your range high because we can't hold above it. We're now starting to lose a 4-hour trend. The 4-hour trend's carried you from, I don't know, man. That's quite a markup. That's like a 60x or something like that. So it's done a 60x over the past 10 days. It's now starting to lose its 4-hour trend. So the trend basis is going to be a little bit weaker than it used to be. I would be a buyer of this if it came down into the daily, right? This is where I would look for it, right? So you could probably just take a kind of an SR right here and say maybe this daily grinds up a little bit, maybe this pukes down a little bit, maybe we get some price action in this region, somewhere in here, right? 15 to 18, kind of. That would be more of a attractive region to buy this versus trying to buy when we're starting to bleed through the 4-hour trend, right? Look at how the dynamic and the strength of the market has changed. 4-hour trend tag, big expansion. 4-hour trend tag, big expansion. 4-hour trend tag, big expansion. 4-hour trend tag, nothing, 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 nothing. No bid, right? I think this needs to reset, probably range for some time, find some buyers, hold above 36, probably hold the 4-hour trend again, and then you can get expansion one more time. SOLBTC and SOLETH. Oh yeah, 100%. Let's do that. When de-risking in crypto, the easiest advice I can give to that is when you make money, just take profits, man. I know it sounds so simple and so dumb, and people want some like Harvard educated response to that. But if you're up a lot of money, take some profits. That's how you de-risk. You ask yourself, I bought something at $10. It's now trading at $30. I'm up 3x. How would I mentally feel if this went down to $10 again? Probably not great, right? I'm not even talking to you from a systematic approach. I'm just talking to you from a kind of I made money approach, right? If your idea from here is this 50 could either, this 30 could either go to 50, right? It could either do this or it could do this. The evolving R of this trade is not in your favor as it once was. This is probably a good region to lock in some of those profits, right? You can keep scaling out till it gets to your target, but understand that there is a universe where price can come back to your entry. Price can retrace. We can have capitulation events. We can have de-risking around the inauguration where 4-hour trends are lost and daily trends are lost and the market resets all the way to the weekly before we're ready to go again. And these kind of drawdowns for a bunch of altcoins are going to end up being somewhere from 30 to 50%. And then we can end up higher. But de-risking, quote unquote, is basically just profit taking. Like, that's how I de-risk. I de-risk just by paying myself. Pay myself, take some money to the bank, feel good about the work that I put in and the good decision making, and realize some of those gains. That's what de-risking looks like to me. Okay, so SOLETH is actually good. I wanted to talk about those charts anyways, so I'm happy that you reminded me to look at those. So number one, we haven't even done Solana. Let's start with Solana. Solana, do you guys remember the example that I gave you on Bitcoin a little bit earlier? How, the September lows was a speculation based on we have a very strong capitulation-esque move, right? This was a event-driven macro event where VIX spiked to like 60, right? If you guys are familiar with VIX, right? VIX put in a move like this. This is the entire market screaming that they are scared and uncertain, right? That the VIX spikes in layman's terms, what the VIX is representing is uncertainty and fear, right? So big macro event. Bitcoin probably should have gone down more. Why was it so resilient? Why was it holding around the levels that we we're speculating on being support, right? This is an indication that, hey, the next time we come back to these regions, we should probably be more bullish than bearish, right? This is where the entire market diverged. More competent individuals in this market started to get risk on. Other people kept on looking for lower. This is where sentiment diverged and people found themselves sidelined. This is the origin of that move. And how did this start off, right? Bearish market structure. Right? All of this was bearish. Even this, you wouldn't even consider to be the break of market structure. You were just speculating, right, that this will lead to continuation and we eventually break market structure. So you're going out on a limb here and trying to read between the tea leaves. With Solana at this moment, if you are a bull, you are more or less trying to do the same thing, right? If you're bullish on Solana here, you're more or less trying to do the same thing, because what Solana has shown you is bearish market structure, right? It's bearish market structure. It's not respecting the daily trends. It's bleeding below the daily trends, and on the daily time frame, it's actually bearishly rejecting the daily trends so far. So if you were a bull on Solana here, you were taking a very tight trade. You're basically trying, right? This morning would have been a great example if you guys happen to catch this. I did not. But run of a low, right, into our kind of consensus level, like the same way that I drew out Bitcoin, right? This is very, very similar. Very, very, very similar. Right? Demand region, spike down, deviation, higher low. Demand region, spike down, deviation, potential higher low. Right? So if you're Solana bull here, you have two options. Either this is the low, the low and you're buying into bearish market structure, speculating on the higher low, right? Or you're looking for the weekly, right? If this rolls over here and is unable to hold, and we start holding below 215 and 210 and something like that, I think this whole thing rolls over into the weekly. This would be a location where I would once again be a very strong Solana bull, because the weekly trend for me is like the God trend. It's like the end all be all of uptrends, right? So if I get, and Solana is not a perfect example because we went so goddamn parabolic the last time around, but stuff like Bitcoin, I don't know when I wrote that, but shout out to these boys. I don't know why that's on my chart, right? This is the point where I want to kind of fade the crowd. If we get a correction in price discovery and get a weekly trend tag, I want to be a bull, right? So coming back to Solana again, this is where I would stick my neck out as a Solana bull and be like, yeah, sentiment is bad. Yeah, everyone hates Solana. Yeah, whatever. I get it. But we've got a weekly trend tag confluent with April and May highs, right? Point of breakdown from earlier this year, high, right? Weekly trend. If we trade into this region, I'm going to be gigabull on Solana once again, looking for all-time highs, looking for price discovery. So that's Solana. Now we can move on to SOLETH. I can no longer, in good market habits, make a bull case on this chart at the time being. I'm going to leave it here for a second. I'm going to get a sip of water. I'll be right back. All right. What can I say here to be bullish on this chart? Someone in chat, tell me what your bullish take is. Like, cause I don't have one personally. Deviation above 2021 all-time highs, weekly broken market structure. Every kind of low on this chart took you to a higher high, right? Here's the low that led to this high. We've now traded below it. We're trading below the weekly trend. We had a big standing consolidation, a big breakout, and a failed breakout of that because we're trading back into this consolidation. We've broken the weekly market structure. We've deviated above prior all-time highs. We're trading back into consolidation. We've lost the weekly trend. It's tough to be a Solana ETH bull. Now, is this to say that this is going to trade all the way down to here? Probably not. It'll probably find value somewhere in this region. I don't know, it could be right here. And make a, maybe make a push for a lower high. It could be down to here. But, in a non kind of actionable approach, I should say, it's kind of a belief of mine that both Solana and ETH from today's value, I think, Solana's at $220, ETH is around 4K. They both probably put in similar returns from here to market cycle top. You may ask, how is that possible if this is bearish, right? They can both have their own runs at different periods of time, right? Right. So basically what I mean by that is maybe today's an ETH dominated run, right? And ETH outperforms and goes to 7K, 8K, 9K. Who knows where ETH is going to top? And then Solana has a run, right? And puts in the same kind of rally, 400, 500, 600, 700, right? The gains across the two assets will probably be normalized from here on out, right? Solana completely demolished Ethereum for the past 2 years, right? Absolutely demolished Ethereum for the past 2 years. I don't think that sustained, outperformance, from here to the end of the cycle is probably not in the cards anymore. So whether you pick Solana or pick ETH from here, I don't know. For the time being, the ball's in ETH's court. We already talked about Solana USD, right? I gave you kind of my take on Sol USD. It doesn't look that great. And then as for ETH, I think it's really simple, right? Being an ETH bull here, we're above 4K right now, right? Above this final boss region, like this should run hard. And the fact that SOLETH looks like this means this could probably, in the short term at least, trade down more. Does this mean that Solana USD from 220 is going to 0? I don't think so. It just means that ETH is going to outperform Solana in the short term, probably. And then the last one, SOLBTC, probably the saddest one. Extremely sad about this one, right? 1 year of ranging, could not break out. Extremely sad about it. This is SOLBTC's support. I would expect SOLBTC to bounce from here, but it doesn't have to, right? Did SOLETH bounce from support? It didn't. It's just bleeding right through it. So SOLBTC does not have to bounce from support. I would just ideally do so, right? I would at least ideally do so. And you know what this would coincide with is, like I said earlier, Bitcoin marking up, whatever that is, 120K, starting to develop a range, goes sideways, and then Total 3 and others and Solana catches up a little bit later, right? So this would be kind of how that works out. Bitcoin continues outperforming, Bitcoin calms down, altcoins start moving up, maybe SOLBTC makes it back towards this range high. So I've given you the plans on SOLUSD, how to think about it locally as a bull and a bear, what I expect for altcoins going forward, the end-all kind of be-all for Ethereum here, around 4K. Let's even take a look at this, because I'm curious and I want to take some trades on ETH this week. Yeah, I mean, this looks fantastic so far. There's really nothing bearish to say about Ethereum. You take back this point of breakdown right here too. You basically recovered the entire kind of devastation of selling, right? This is where the entire thing broke down. This is where you got the daily trend reset. Getting back above this, we all know ETH has strong ETF flows right now. Getting back above this, holding this region, should lead you into a very big push. All right, I am so behind on chat. This is going to be the first stream where I officially say to you guys, it's impossible for me. It's literally impossible now. We have too many viewers in here for me to read chat anymore. I actually really miss the days when there was only like 30, 40 people and I could answer every single question. I think those days are just gone now. But I'm happy you asked about SOLBTC because I wanted to cover that anyways. What is this? FTX announces effective date and record date of January 3rd, 2025 for its Chapter 11 plan of reorganization. Stimmy on the way from FTX. That's pretty cool. Why'd you pick that? Why did you pick that as the wick high and not the highest other wick? Man, what chart was I looking at? Okay, so you're talking, I think Alexander's talking about GRIFFAIN. I asked you about it last time. Obviously no more than me, but I would do some research on it. Yeah, I got to do that this week. I'll definitely look into it. I've been asked about it actually from like 3 different areas to look at that. So yeah, I'll look at FWOG, I'll look at PEPE, I'll look at Grass. Those are my bags, so I'm definitely going to talk about them. What if you were perpetually in a loss? What do you do about de-risking then? Get good, my friend. Get good. Bitcoin price keeps going higher while volume is decreasing. Red flag. I don't buy into volume metrics like that. I don't trade the market that way. Sol new all-time high breath your cope. I don't know what that means, brother. I don't know if you're taking a shot at me or what. FWOG. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that next. I'll do FWOG, I'll do PEPE, I'll do grass in a minute. I'm trying to scroll over the bottom. When moon, I mean, we're mooning today, right now. Today's full moon. Last night. So actually a cool part. I'm actually, I've talked about this a little bit. I'm moving across the country at the end of this year. My move-in date is, you know, pretty much the start of January, right around New Year's. And the thing I'm gonna miss most about the place that I'm in right now is our bedroom is second floor, and we have like a moon roof in our room. So we have light that comes in from the roof into the room that, you know, gives us natural light. It's pretty hot in summers in the bedroom, but in winters like now, it's so nice. And like anytime there's a full moon, the room is illuminated with, you know, the light of the moon. We don't live in like the city or anything like that, so it's really beautiful, and I'm gonna miss it. And last night was a full moon, and I was just kind of sitting there looking at it and just, you know, gonna miss this place. But anyways, yeah, full moon, and Bitcoin's breaking out. When moon today, my friend. Brett as beta for ETH. I'm not a fan of Brett, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't get it. I don't like it. If you're gonna bet on the Matt Fury memes, you need to bet on Pepe, the Alpha, the Omega, the Chad, the Giga Chad, the dominant force, the meme that's in every group chat, the meme that's dominating Twitch, that meme that dominates gaming, the meme that dominates crypto. Why bet on Brett? Bet on Pepe. 250 online, only 70 likes. Yeah, I'd appreciate you guys if you hit the like. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, but you hang out in my streams, I would appreciate if you hit the subscribe too. Completely free, you lose nothing. And if you decide that you hate me, you can always unsubscribe. Okay, we're caught up. Let's do alts. So let's do Pepe first. Let me get rid of some doodles. From a trend perspective on the daily, there's nothing bearish to say. In fact, the entire meme market has bled out, right? Any meme that you guys are probably asking me about, I'd say like 90%. I know FARTCOIN's up, but like, let's call it 95 to 99% of memes are doing this, right? Some of them have entered accumulation and they're kind of just going sideways, right? They're doing something like this. Some memes are going down, like FWOG has been going straight down, which I'll look at in a minute. Pepe is still, you know, pretty damn bullish, right? This is the composite that we built up. I tweeted this yesterday. This is the composite that we built up after the Wombo combo of the Coinbase listing, the Upbit listing, the Robinhood listing. This is all of that. And seeing Pepe hold this value is phenomenal, right? If we compare Pepe to other, you know, I guess you would call them like blue chip memes, right? BONK has kind of lost some of this, right? I think BONK got listed on, was it Robinhood, guys? You can correct me. Either Robinhood or Upbit. I know it's already been on Coinbase for like a year now. But it's retracing, right? It's losing daily trend. It's losing kind of the prior range highs. So if we look at this on the weekly, let me actually get a better chart with more history, right? It's kind of coming back down, right? This is a full reset, right? Anytime something kind of loses the daily trends, it's kind of like in a full reset to the weekly. Not saying this is bearish, but it's bled out. Right, the point that I'm trying to make is it's kind of bled out, right? If you look at something like WIF, which is another probably like premier altcoin, it's not looking fantastic either, right? I was pretty bullish on WIF in this region. When this retraced, I was not bullish on WIF anymore, right? This is resetting. This is going to take a long time to kind of redevelop bullish price action. But Pepe stands apart. Pepe is holding outside of prior value, right? It's held outside of this consolidation. It's held the markup and the repricing that all these bullish catalysts gave it. It's held the daily trend after it lost the 4-hour. It's holding above prior value area high. It's held the daily demand region. It's swept into this region. So what we want to see for Pepe is a market structure break, right? We're basically putting in lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. We want to see this begin to turn around where we make a higher high, we make a higher low, and we speculate on this to continue. But out of all of the memes in the entire market right now, Pepe looks the absolute best to me. It's just crabbing because memes are not in the spotlight. It's not the mind share right now. We're really dominated with like tech-based coins. Sui's doing phenomenal. RWA with Trump narrative. Trump is bullish on DeFi. We've seen Aave popping off. ONDO, Link, which shout out Marines if there's any in the chat. All of these coins have been doing phenomenal. So memes haven't been in the spotlight. But the most bullish thing about Pepe versus the rest of the meme sector is it's still holding on to its gains. So if we do, over the next month or something like that, have a de-risking moment where, you know, Bitcoin marks up, who knows where it's going to mark up to, and has a big correction of like 20% into the weeklies, we at least know that Pepe can probably still hold this range low, right? If Pepe expands, breaks down, we're hoping that Pepe will still, you know, the correctionary area would probably be somewhere in this weekly trend area, confluent with prior all-time highs and range low. So the high time frame structure would still look very good on Pepe, as opposed to other altcoins. If they were to get hammered, a lot of other altcoins structures would look pretty bad on high time frame, whereas Pepe would still look pretty damn good on high time frame. Unsubscribe, didn't realize that. Hey Doc, what would you do if you subconsciously had a problem accepting losses when a position didn't go according to your expectations? I often have the thought, if I add enough margin, I just won't and lose money. Yeah, man, I think it sounds like you have a risk management problem or a kind of game plan problem. You don't want to be holding onto positions like that and just crushing your capital, right? If then plans are really strong. You know, I'm at like just a very ABC area, right? Let's just use this level, for example, here on Pepe, right? If we break above this region and we retest as support, this is your entry, your invalidation. If we start bleeding and holding below, possibly losing an EMA in confluence, why do you want to hold this position when you know that your idea has been invalidated, right? Your idea was, we're going to hold this region, we're going to set a higher low, we're going to flip prior resistance into support, we're holding trends, right? We've probably held this trend a few times. When you lose all of this, you open yourself up to extreme drawdown. And you may get saved in a bull market, right? In a bull market, you know, your bad decision making may, you know, if you just hold on long enough, yes, coins can go higher. But if you maintain this as your core game plan, if you're actually in the market like this is how you give everything back at the end, man. This is how you give everything fucking back at the end, because eventually a trend is going to end. And eventually it's going to unwind back to zero. And if your idea is, I'm just going to hold this, your mentality better be that I'm holding this to zero, right? If you're comfortable with that and you're like, I'm going to hold this to zero. If it goes to zero, so be it. If that's your game plan, that's fine. Live with it, right? You're taking a risk on that position, and hopefully that position is not 80% of your portfolio. And you're like, if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. If you want to trade the market that way, be my guest. But, you know, making game plans and then just being like, oh, I don't want to take a loss, man. I don't want to take a loss. But, you know, taking a loss of 5% versus taking a loss of 50%, because what most people will do is they'll see this drawdown, it'll come into this accumulation phase right here. Someone else with more discipline and a better game plan will take advantage of this. You will capitulate because you'll see this coin going up and this coin going up and this coin going up and this coin going up. And you're like, why the fuck is my coin not going up? And you'll close this out to chase something else, right? And you may do the same thing. You're like, I'll buy the dip, and this dip keeps dipping. And now this coin enters accumulation, and the coin that capitulated starts moving, right? So you know, I think two things, right? If you make plans and you're like, I'm wrong here, stick to your plan. And number two, just understand that this will all end one day. And if your core game plan is I'm just going to hold because I don't want to take a loss, you're going to lose everything. Literally everything. Wait, I think I can... Who taught me this? There you go. Forgot that I could just do that. Got your point on Pepe, which makes sense. So you've got less conviction on others such as Popcat, yada yada, even though they seem to be current. I mean, I'm just not bullish on those from the beginning. I've never been bullish on Popcat. I've never been bullish on the coins that you mentioned. I've always just been bullish on Pepe for the reason that I mentioned briefly and been talking about for 2 years. It's the premier meme coin. It's the meme coin that's already a meme. It's not forced. It's not like Iggy Azalea came to the market, said, I'm going to make a meme coin, and you're just betting on Iggy Azalea's mother coin, right? You're betting on a meme that everyone already knows. Like, if you've ever played video games in your life, you've been on Twitch to watch a streamer play video games, and you know the chat's just full of Pepe memes. So you know that the Pepe mindshare is big across the world already. It's already a meme, right? It's very easy for people to recognize. They come into crypto and they go, oh yeah, the Pepe's, you know, a meme that I'm familiar with. They got to learn what the fuck a slurf is. They got to learn what these other coins are. So I've never had conviction in any of those memes. I've always just had conviction on Pepe. Okay, let's move on. I said I was going to do the other two. So FWOG. This is going to require 2 things, conviction and patience. It's getting harder and harder for me to have a bullish outlook on this, right? When we were trading, when we swept this low into demand, that's not bad, right? Let's ignore trends for a minute, right? That's pretty solid setup. The fact that this fully retraced and made a lower low and is bleeding like this just tells me someone is exiting their positions right now. There's just tons of sellers. People are looking to take profits. They may be capitulating on FWOG. They may be capitulating on the meme sector in general. They're chasing FARTCOIN. They're chasing XRP, whatever, right? They're rotating their money out of the market. You just got to wait for this to kind of be over, right? You got to wait for this to round out, whether that rounds out here, whatever. Eventually, this is going to round out. Eventually, this is going to enter accumulation. Eventually, it's going to start going sideways for a long period of time. Eventually, this daily trend is going to come down, probably bonk you the first time and the second time, and you get above the daily trend, right? And you start putting in that fresh bullish market structure, and you start making higher highs and higher lows. And you start breaking outside of the accumulation range. This is when FWOG is going to go ham again, right? It's had its opportunity to do so, retracing back. Oh, I know what that is. Have fun on your call, Magus and Charlie. Yeah. Where was I? Yeah, it's like FWOG's just gonna take a minute, man. I'm bullish on this. I sold a very large part of my bag on 4-hour breakdown, right? Just managing good risk, right? All the way up here at 60 cents. That was my warning sign. 4-hour trend loss after massive expansion, expecting this to retrace back into the daily. I took a small position here. I took a small position here. I took a small position here. I added back the size that I sold. My current rebuys, right, are right around a 40-cent average. Those are getting bodied. Am I going to capitulate on this one? No, because mentally, when I bought FWOG in the beginning, when I bought it down here at 11 and 12 and was building this bag, I basically said, this is a meme coin that I want to bet on into the market cycle top, right? I don't believe the market cycle top is in, and I do think FWOG probably comes back to life. Is it more bearish today than I initially expected it to be? Yes. Am I going to sell my FWOG bag down here? No. I didn't size into this one with like 80% of my portfolio. I sized into it with a portion of my portfolio that I was willing to speculate on. And I'm just gonna ride it out. And I know that this, could bottom here, but I need to see some sideways before I start peddling hopium to people that this is going to V reverse or put in new all-time highs. It's just going to need to, cool off. It's going to need to go sideways for some time. It's going to need to build an accumulation range, flip market structure, go back from being bearish market structure to bullish market structure. So those things have not happened yet. That is the most objective outlook that I can give you guys, because I don't want to peddle hopium. And if you're thinking about capitulating and you want to dump your FWOG bag, I really hope that you do. I really hope that you do. Just sell your bag and move on. Because the sooner people capitulate, the sooner we can put in a bottom, the sooner we can start putting in an accumulation range, the sooner we could rebuild bullish momentum. And a good lesson here is if you're worried about this, you probably didn't have conviction in the first place. You're kind of just buying it because it was going up, right? And you're selling it because it's going down. Whenever I buy coins, I make sure that I have enough conviction in them to weather the storm and those bad days. Like, let me remind you guys what PEPE looked like last summer, right? Not this summer, but last summer. There were sustained periods of just downward price action, but my thesis was my thesis, and I wasn't going to capitulate down here. I was just waiting for this to kind of round off till I add more and add more and add more. And if I was willing to also be wrong, right? There's a universe where I was completely wrong on this, and it didn't work out, and it went to zero. But that was a bet that I was willing to take, and a loss that I was willing to accept if I was wrong. Next one, grass. I mean, nothing should surprise people about this, about grass getting rejected at range high. Like, resistance is resistance until it's no longer resistance. Even ETH got rejected, right, at 4K, right? Even ETH got bonked really hard at 4K. So resistance is resistance, right? Don't be surprised that it's getting rejected here. The next place that I'd be looking for grass for like longs, if this breaks all the way back down, would be around, what is this, 280, 290 to $3, right? Right around the daily trend. Prior resistance, support, resistance, big breakdown, resistance, support, big breakdown, reclaim. So if this was going to retrace from here, I'd be looking at it right around 280 to $3. Let me get rid of the doodles again. To me, this overall high time frame chart, though, is really bullish, right? Because you're just consistently setting higher lows and higher lows and higher lows, and you're even like meme triangling, right? So let's put a little meme line on here, right? So you're basically putting in kind of like a meme triangle. You're setting higher lows, you're setting higher lows, you're setting higher lows. Probably the next time that we attack this, wherever this low comes from, the next time we attack this, we're probably going to get the breakout. Personally, since I bought this wick into the listing anchored, I'm not willing to kind of be like, I need to chase this low right here. Like, if it's going to come all the way down here, I have a really good high time frame invalidation for, hey, this region should hold as support. Should we revisit it? This is where I'd be actioning, and this is where I'd be bullish, and this is where I'd be opening up a fresh position. I don't care too much about this little pullback that we've gotten right here, right around resistance. Khalil, I did PEPE, 42 for PEPE soon. I can't tell you if it's going to be soon or if it's going to be Q1, but if Bitcoin marks up to 120, right? I mentioned this earlier in the stream. If Bitcoin marks up and starts going sideways again, altcoins should follow with a little bit of a lag and then outperform. And during this movement right here, PEPE should do some numbers. How are we feeling about hype 2025? Man, I've completely missed the hype train. Feels bad, man. This thing's a monster. Absolute monster. Absolute monster. It's trending on the 4-hour from like $2 to $27. Absolute monster. People are really heavily allocating and believing in this thing. How do I feel about it? I mean, I'm just going to take the same approach I always take, was just trend-based approach, market structure and trends. I don't have fundamental targets. I actually don't know how to value this. I'm not the best fundamental investor in the market, as many of you guys that have been following me for a while know. I'm not the best when it comes to like kind of diagnosing fundamentals of coins. But you know, if it's being valued as an L1, it's obviously getting more use than other L1s. It's getting more use than things like Aptos and Sui. You know, so it should be valued amongst those kind of coins. And I think once it kind of reaches those kind of fair value, I don't know what the market cap is now. I think it's already like 10 billion. I actually don't know what Sui is right now. Maybe it's like 15 billion. Once it achieves those types of market caps, I think kind of the upwards kind of parabola accumulation of everyone getting a position probably calms down a little bit, and then we go into the speculative overvaluation mode. But yeah, those are my simple thoughts on hype. I almost said FARTCOIN. Would you consider hype a honeypot or a true new corner? Yeah, man, I don't know, man. I think the thing with hype right now is the, you know, people like me who didn't take the extra 2 minutes to just bridge some money over to hype, you know, is consistently sidelined on this thing. But yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about it at the moment. I have nothing bearish to really contribute to hype. I don't have a price target for PEPE, but I think it ends the cycle as the de facto #2 meme coin in crypto. So it's going to overtake SHIB, and I think it'll overtake SHIB and hold that spot. So it'll, you know, even in the next bear market lows, it should be the #2 meme coin, in my opinion. Chuck, hopefully I answered your question. I talked about grass just now. If you missed it, just rewind a little bit. I just covered grass. I remember you mentioned that you were betting on PEPE in the Dentoshi stream. Congrats. When did I do the Dentoshi stream? That had to have been over a year ago now. So yeah, man, I've been bullish on PEPE since June of 2023. I mean, the first time I bought it was along the first parabolic rally when it got the, you know, before the Binance listing and stuff like that. But when I really like developed conviction in the idea was like, I think June 2023. When the cycle ends, do you think Bitcoin will retrace to the 20 to 30K region? No, I think let's do some speculation. Let's do some silly speculation. By the way, like, let's fucking go, man. 107. Jesus Christ. Let's fucking go, boys. Used to dream about times like this. I mean, it really just depends on how high Bitcoin goes. My one strong speculation when it comes to Bitcoin is it probably, you know, the bear market drawdown Pico top to Pico bottom is probably going to be somewhere in the 60% region, right? I don't think it's going to even go down 70% this cycle. Just because the dynamics have really shifted on Bitcoin. They've really shifted over this cycle. With ETF flows and BlackRock basically suggesting to their clients that they should, you know, allocate 2% to Bitcoin, you know, Trump and all those connections like that. And especially because that's been the dynamic that Bitcoin has seen over the past couple cycles, right? Even if you go to the 2022 cycle, I would argue this is the biggest pressure test Bitcoin has ever had in its like lifespan, right? You had the stock market corrections. You had NASDAQ going down 30 to 40% or whatever it was. You had ES going down 30 to 40%. You had historic levels of inflation. You had all this kind of macro uncertainty. You had a rate hiking cycle. And then intra crypto, you had the entire industry blow apart. You had FTX kind of tarnish the name for crypto. You had you know, Luna blow up crypto. You had so many bad things that happened in crypto, confluent with macro, and high to low. I think this was 75%, 77%, right? Which was less than the last cycle and less than the previous cycle. So Bitcoin showed more resilience when it should have been hammered even more. So I would speculate that this cycle, that's 77, maybe 70 or 69 or something like that. So if we speculate that Bitcoin goes to 180K, what does that bring us down to? Probably back to our summer lows, like 53K, 55K, 60K, somewhere in this region would probably be our next like bear market bottom. I don't see it going down to 20 or 30. You would need some pretty bad stuff to happen for it to go down to 20 or 30. Yeah, Richard, I covered grass. You could just rewind maybe 15 minutes. PEPE goat. All right. Here's the thing with goat. Is this still relevant now that, Truth Terminal, the way that I understand it, is bullish on two things. It was like, supposed to be bullish on GOAT, and it was supposed to be bullish, or like, I forget what the, the command was or whatever for the AI. But, it's basically following its programming, and it picked GOAT and it picked FARTCOIN, right? And FARTCOIN flipping GOAT probably makes it the de facto coin. But yeah, this is a really clean level. I have it marked on my chart as well. I think someone asked me about GOAT last week. And let's go on the rewind tool. Right, this is how GOAT looked last week, right? So basically, this was the doodle that I drew, and I was basically saying, look, if you, reclaim this level and retest it, it's probably a decent entry. So we can go back to now where we are right now. It's basically doing the doodle. Let's go to the 4-hour. That's the trade from last week, which we don't need anymore. Right, so this is the region where GOAT absolutely needs to hold, right? It needs to hold literally where it is. This has to be kind of the bottom between 71 and kind of 66. Right, because you did break market structure, right? This is the high. This is the high that led to the low. You've taken out this high, and now you're trying on a macro basis, on a daily chart basis, to hold this region as support once again. So yeah, this needs to be the region that holds on GOAT. In my opinion, it won't go down more than 50%. That's, I mean, shit, I'll take that. The thing is that people need to understand, it doesn't matter if Bitcoin only goes down 50% or 60%, altcoins are still going to zero. So be prepared for that. There's no universe where Bitcoin goes down 50% and altcoins survive. They're going to fucking zero. So just, have that in the back of your mind. At this point, Bitcoin's volatility is not one-to-one with altcoins anymore, in my opinion. Bitcoin is just the guiding light, right? Bitcoin being risk on, Bitcoin going into price discovery or an expansionary environment gives light to altcoins, and Bitcoin being weak and being in a kind of reversal environment and crabbing and bearish, that's going to just murder alts. And we saw that this summer, right? Altcoins still went down 70, 80% on some of these. Like SUI, we know how, bullish SUI is right now. What did SUI go down high to low? SUI went down 80%, 78% over the course of 4 months. Even though Bitcoin looked fine. What playlist do you have? Yeah, it's Spotify. It's Blade Runner 2049 vibes. Core nuked 50% May 2021 though. Yeah, I mean it did. And altcoins went to zero. Bitcoin did go down 50% May 2021 and altcoins went to fucking zero. I can look at MOG. Cerebro. MicroStrategy average price could be the Bitcoin bottom with fears of seller being forced to sell. Right now it's 61.7. I mean, he's going to keep bringing his price up, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if his average fucking cost basis was 80K by the top of this bull market, because he did that last cycle too. He did that exact same thing last cycle too. They started with like a 7K cost basis. They started buying in like August or September of 2020. And I think their cost basis went all the way up to like 31. No, that's too high. I think it went all the way up to like 31 or something like that. So he was well underwater at the bear market bottom. And if you're saying that he brought it all the way up to 60 now, he's probably going to bring it up even higher. He's probably going to end up with a fucking like 80K cost basis or something like that. And then, yeah, at the bear market bottom, he'll be underwater again. So don't think that Sailor's cost basis is going to be the bottom, because it wasn't the bottom last time. But yeah, I don't think, you know, these kind of things, I don't know if it gives you an actionable advantage over other participants to navigate the market. They're fun things to talk about. They're fun things to speculate on, but they're so far out there and not something I need to worry about today. I talked about FWOG. You just got to rewind the stream a little bit. I spent a good amount of time talking about FWOG. All right, let's talk about some other bullish coins. It's Monday morning. I also need to make some trade plans, so let's start with ONDO. I mean, can we appreciate this though? Jesus. What a chart. Broke above all-time high, massive flush to below all-time high, weekly close like this. Check the 4-hour. And let's take this as a range. Oh, already. Okay, we're good. Yeah, this looks really solid. You even got a run of all these lows this morning. ONDO, honestly, could just mark up from here and leave me sidelined in worthless fiat. This looks really strong. Trending on the hourly too. ONDO looks solid, man. Tough to, you know, the dip buying region that I would want would be like a 4-hourly trend tag, but I don't think I'm going to get that. I think it's more likely that something like this happens where we push from here. This ends up demand. We get a retest in this region, confluent with the 4-hour, and then get a continuation. This would be kind of like a trade setup that I'd be looking at if it's set up somewhere later in the week. And then let's do Link, because Link is goddamn bullish as fuck too. There we go. Doodle's playing out. Link gave you a good entry. Sweep into 4-hour trend. Invalidation at prior lows. Very rounded bottom. When I was talking about rounded bottoms earlier in the stream, this is kind of what I mentioned, right? These kind of bottoms look so bullish to me. A lot of effort going into the downside, breaking market structure to the upside, tagging the 4-hour trend here. Looks really, really solid. Really, really, really solid. Take some rough range highs right here. Same kind of idea as ONDO. This probably goes up higher before it pulls back, gives you another entry, possibly with demand like this, and then look to play trend continuation. I think the next high time frame level for Link 2 is around like 36. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, this is where I'd like roughly say that the next resistance level on Link is around 35 to 36. How low does Bitcoin dominance go? Probably back into the 40s. Do I think Bitcoin dominance is coming back down to here? It's tough to say. It's tough to say that Bitcoin's going to come all the way back down to 40. And if it did, man, we're all going to make it. If it did, we're going to all fucking make it. But the thing is, the difference between Bitcoin this cycle and last cycle is the flows, right? So last cycle, when Bitcoin marked up, we didn't have consistent bid, right? We you know, Saylor didn't structure MicroStrategy the same way that he is doing now, where he's doing these. I mean, I think he did it to some extent, but it's even crazier now than it was last cycle. So he's going to be a consistent buyer. But the main thing is we didn't have these crazy $100 billion days of ETF inflows consistently, right? It was basically crypto natives taking their Bitcoin, selling their Bitcoin, rotating down the risk curve. I should do it like this, you know, selling their Bitcoin and rotating down the risk curve so that alts could fly. And we don't have that same structure this cycle. So it's more likely that Bitcoin continues to be strong and doesn't really go into this massive, you know, underperformance as far as altcoins regime. Like, I think it'll still hold a little bit more dominance than it did last cycle. So it's hard for me to say that it's going to come all the way down here, but yeah, I'd probably test this region, mid 40s, high 40s. This is, I mean, this is like I'm saying, we're all going to make it, right? If this happens again and we get one of these, that's crazy. But I don't know if that happens. Thoughts on ONDO and Tau? Here's the beautiful thing about ONDO is not only does it have the BlackRock narrative, not only does it fit under RWA, but it has a little bit of a Trump narrative too, with Trump buying ONDO, right? So it's got a very strong TradFi narrative. I don't think Tau has that. So my original kind of like cycle top-ish targets for ONDO was like $2 to $3, but I did not speculate on, you know, the kind of Trump connection and all these kind of things happening. And I didn't realize how much mindshare that it carried in TradFi. So some of you guys may know I do trade options in the stock market. Anytime I go on my trading terminal, which is Thinkorswim, there's a little like news section on the terminal. And I'd say once a week, even more than that, a couple times a week, I see ONDO headlines. And I don't often see other coins crossing that bridge, like crossing that mindshare bridge from crypto to TradFi. So it's very interesting to see, to say the least. January 18th, there's unlocks, correct. Shiv, I covered FWOG. You got to go back in the stream a little bit. Also, there'll be subtitles. Like, YouTube is really, really cool in that I speak slow enough that I think YouTube does a really good job with subtitles. So I think when this stream is over, it takes a little bit of time to process. And then once that processing time is up, you'll have like subtitles on the stream. I want a girlfriend with a rounded bottom. Sam, you're going to make it. Show her your cube stack and you got this. I think it's a battle between Ina and ONDO. Yeah, let's look at Ina. It's another really good performer. Lord, Lord, Lord. I actually had plans myself to buy Ina right here and chose not to because I threw money at grass instead. And let's see how I'm doing compared to Ina so far. So I'm outperforming Ina so far. So I threw money at grass at 219. It's at like 350 right now. This is up 54%. I think, well, high to low, it's up 54%, or low to high, excuse me. But I think grass is outperforming that. So far I made a better decision going with grass than Ina, but I did really want to buy this dip on Ina because it was super clean. Super, super, super clean. See if we can find some more levels here on Ina. Don't love this. Doesn't look bad though. Locally doesn't look fantastic. It may need a little bit more chop, maybe a couple more, maybe a day more in this kind of region before it's ready to push up again. But yeah, it looks solid. Clear resistance, strong breakthrough. I really do like this grind up as well, kind of like grind up to breakthrough, and retracing into the 4-hour trend. 4-hour trend confluence with that level that I marked out earlier from high time frame, or right around 120. This region would be pretty solid to hold on ENA. And I would basically just mark it out like this, like invalidation, entry, take profit. Thoughts on going full port lev long grass right now? Excellent question, Max. Excellent question. I think you do it. I think you fully do it and place your stop right here. This is where you need to place your stop. Like just full liquidation. If price gets to 330, you lose everything, every penny in your bank account. That's how you need to structure your trade. Because if this doesn't hold, it's literally going to zero. I'm just joking. Gotta say that for the one guy in chat who thinks I'm not joking. Realistic Pepe target. So I've said, yeah, do you think Pepe goes to the top 10? I do think Pepe makes a top 10 appearance. I think it flips SHIB. I think it has the possibility to go to $40 billion market cap like SHIB did last cycle. I think it has the possibility to go a lot higher than that, depending on how much mind share it continues to carry over into kind of the latecomer world, into the TikTok world and stuff like that. Early signs are looking really good. The fact that it's holding, I talked about Pepe so much this stream already. I went through a whole thing on Pepe earlier, so I won't repeat myself, but it has the possibilities to go beyond what I initially thought. And what I initially thought was it can flip SHIB, right? That was my initial thought. And I thought that down here, right? So the initial idea for me on that was right here. This is where I thought, hey, it can flip SHIB. Can it outperform my expectations? Absolutely, right? This is all kind of like falling in place, but you know, yeah, those are my thoughts. You know, I do think it's going to make a top 10 appearance at some point. It'll flip SHIB. You know, 40 billion is in the cards. That's where SHIB's all-time high market cap was last cycle. I don't think it's going to flip Dogecoin. I think that's kind of too much to ask for. Elon posting Pepe's raises your target. I don't think Elon's that bullish for anything in crypto anymore. Like, he's not even bullish for Dogecoin anymore. I don't think the crypto market cares too much about Elon, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I don't want to be the guy that like raises my targets based on Elon. But yeah, I mean, Elon, you're welcome to come pump my bags any day, man. I did goat a little bit ago. Galley. I did goat a little bit ago. I talked about goat. I don't ever share trade plans under like 4-hour charts on stream. So this is all you're going to get from me. Need a Trump buy? I mean, it like I can 100% see Trump posting a Pepe. I can 100% see that. The market has not priced that in. I'll tell you that. If Trump starts bull posting Pepe, bro, it's literally going to pull a Dogecoin. Lingo? Sure. I'm going to spend like 5 more minutes here, and then I'm going to head out. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button. And let me do this real quick while I got all you in here. If you're interested in literally free money, go sign up to Blofin with the link in the description box below. I think I deleted it. Hold up. Let me do this because it's like literally a free opportunity for you guys. And the reason I say this is because 250 of you in here, only 10 of you are going to do this. Like, I know how it works. I've been around long enough to know only 10 of you guys are going to sign up. So you have a 1 in 10 shot to win $1,500. There's a link in the description box below. Feel free to pause the stream and look at kind of like how it works. But it's really simple. It's kind of just like sign up, deposit, take a trade, and you're good. And that gets deposited in your account. I know it says iPhone 16, but they're not going to ship you an iPhone 16. Like, you don't have to dox yourself and like share your home address and stuff like that. They just put $1,500 in your account. And if you feel like, you can go buy an iPhone. But yeah, I mean, shout out once again to Blofin. And that's something I like to do on the streams. I never share these things on CT because I like to reward people that actually come in and watch the streams versus, you know, the 30,000 people that are on CT that are going to probably ignore it anyways. So I like to reward the people on streams. Anyways, that's enough of that. Where was I? What was the coin you asked? Lingo? Not much to say. Brand new coin, uptrending, not that clean. I don't know what sector this is. I don't know if it's a meme coin, an AI agent, RWA. I really can't tell. All I can tell you, this is prior resistance. This is support. It's fucking simple as shit. There's no liquidity in this coin. Like, if I can look at hourly candles and tell you that it's illiquid, it's goddamn illiquid. Which means that price action principles are probably going to matter a little bit less. Liquidity sweeps are going to matter a little bit less. It probably doesn't have perps trading. It's probably a lower market cap coin. I can infer all these things just by looking at this. So it's probably lower market cap, highly liquid, newer, obviously, because it just got listed. I don't know what sector it's in. It's marking up, and the reason it's marking up like this is as people are just buying positions in the coin because they're hyped on it. It's brand new, they're hyped on it, they're getting positions. So this is like the result of spot positioning. There's not much to say, right? I don't have enough price history to give you any type of objective view or reality on the coin. Right? Lot of confluence though, right around 60 cents. You definitely want this to hold. Listing anchored VWAP value area high, hourly trend, prior resistance, current support. You definitely want this region to hold to continue marking up. What type of doctor were you before crypto? So I was going to apply for residency, so I wasn't practicing. But my goal was to do fellowship in emergency medicine. So I was going to be basically what you would call like an ER specialist, emergency medical specialist. That's what I wanted to specialize in because that was the most exciting to me. When I was in med school and doing rotations in college, I just saw a lot of burnout, man. And whenever you go and do like your cardiology rotations or your neurology rotations, yeah, they're exciting, right? Because it's your first time being there. But once you spend like a month or 2 months in that rotation, like some of them, you recognize that as a specialist, you're seeing the same group of 8 patients, 9 patients, 7 patients, depending on what you specialize in, again and again and again and again for fucking 30 years until you retire. And the most exciting thing for me to stay fresh and probably avoid burnout was going to be going down emergency medicine, going down that route. So yeah, I would have picked emergency medicine, but I'm not practicing and I wasn't practicing, so never specialized. You light too many cigarettes? What does that mean? I don't smoke. Do you think it's better to buy Pengu right after it was listed or wait for a retrace? I don't know, man. It's going to depend on tokenomics and it's going to depend on your conviction in the asset. Do you think it's still possible to 5 to 6x from here for people to enter now if you take extreme risk and concentrated bets in a few coins that do well? Yes. If you take an extremely concentrated bet with a large sum of your portfolio into a coin that's probably going to be relatively new, that's undervalued, it's possible. I'm not even aiming for that much from here. Tia and Fett, man. Tia's tragic, brother. Tia's absolutely tragic, I think. Actually. This is the first opportunity for Tia to flip its market structure since the top. Bearish market structure from the top, underneath the weekly trends, crabbed underneath the weekly, put in a long-standing accumulation range, broke outside of this downwards price action, trying to flip the weekly to support. This is a must hold region on Tia. So if you're bullish on Tia right here, this has to be the bottom before higher highs are formed on Tia. This could be the beginning. This could be the beginning of market structure reversal. If you lose the weekly here, I'd say there's just not enough demand, and you probably should just not care about Tia. This is the region where people need to show up and be bullish Tia for this trend continuation. If not, I wouldn't be bullish on it. FET looks good. I like the way that FET looks after the big breakdown. So basically held the 4-hour trend, lose 4-hour trend, gap to daily, holding the daily. This is support. This is the region that needs to continue holding for FET. Still in locally kind of bearish market structure, you know, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Breaking above this high, that's your market structure break. Pull back, that's probably your entry. Invalidation underneath these lows, play trend continuation to this point of breakdown. There's the doodle. We'll check up on it next week on the stream. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. I gotta head out. Hope you guys have a good one. On the way out, feel free to hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you next week. And as always, if you missed any part of the stream, come back tomorrow. Everything will be timestamped, and you'll be able to flip around. So if you miss something, there's a high chance that I probably already covered it. And you don't want to weed through the entire stream, no problem. It'll be timestamped tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys. Have fun. Take care.